Hello, America and beyond. And when I say America, I mean all of America, not Gringolandia, but everywhere. I'm Christopher Phillips. Thank you so much. And you are?
I'm Cecilia Phillips.
We are in what's called a rare date before Daddy hits the road. Here, I'm calling myself Daddy. That's who I am. Before I hit the road again to raise money to support my family. Doing things I love, but I'd rather be.
Oh no.
So anyway, I'm a dinosaur. I'm one of the last independent public. Well, I'm not an intellectual. I'm really not that smart at all. But I'm one of the last independent public scholar inquirers. So anyway, Ceci and I have been talking about parenting, and we philosophize about it sometimes. And we take a different tack than parents who like just tackle a question head on about an issue. So we like to look at it in a broader scale before we bring it back, right, Ceci?
Right.
See, I've got a train.
Silly.
So Ceci, what was the question we came up with?
Do we have an obligation to what?
Oh dear.
Do we have
Brain.
do we have an obligation to question our children's friendships? Right?
Yes, next question.
Yes, next question.
Well, do we? It's a yes or no question. I don't know. Does it depend on the friend?
Well, of course, but if you see some like red flags, things that are disconcerting,
Disconcerting? Like trouble you, perplex you,
yeah.
concern you?
Well, yeah, no, but that you see bad influences, like it could be, or you see behaviors that influence, have a negative influence on your child.
This is a very rare date. The first Socrates Cafe where we went one-on-one, and she was the only one that came. Now you know why. See? Now you see how pretty she is.
He's silly.
So, yes, I think we do. However, you know I'm Mr. Childo, right? So I think they can also question my friendships. Like if they think like somebody's a bad influence on me. I just think they say, Daddy, you're just like, you know what I'm saying? I think, but, so like for instance, Callie has one friend I caught trying to steal something from a store. Callie almost followed her lead. Luckily I was there. And I said, no. And so but you know, you can be influenced. You know, her friend might have just really inattentive parents or not, who don't parent, whatever parenting might mean, whether it's the raising of a parent or the raising of a parent into a child. So, in terms of questioning though, what do we do? What do you mean by question? Should we question each other? Should we question our child? Should we question what?
Well, I think just question like with your child, like what is a friend?
What is a good friend?
Yeah, what is a good friend?
So then after this one, we're going to have to do another one with Callie.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
No. But then, yeah, like, is a friend somebody who loves to push us to do things that we don't want to do and that we know that are not right. But there's also something that is even more subtle, which is when that they imitate behaviors, you know. Because one thing will be, oh come, let's steal this, or but another thing will be just like nagging, their little sister, or, or being just disrespectful towards adults or things like that, and they're cool. Or like just complaining, like pure complaining about their parents. I mean, I've heard them just complain about their parents, and then it's like the coolest thing to complain about their parents and how badly they are treated, that then they are exaggerate, So, and I don't think that's not because other kids, have.
So, I don't know. The term obligation throws me. I mean, do I have to question their friendships? I mean, I do. I want to make sure my daughter's safe. I want to make sure she can grow and flourish. I want to make sure she's not too inhibited, like I don't suffocate her with over-parental concern. Like I remember I had one neighbor who couldn't even cross the street until he was 12. I mean, this is in the quietest neighborhood where maybe 2 cars passed in the entire day. So, I mean, you can always err on the side of caution, but at the same time, you got to make sure that some horrible things can happen if parents aren't observant at a very young age. You can be impressionable in different ways at every age. But you want to make sure, we make sure our kids don't go to homes where there's guns. We question the parents, and we make sure that we don't allow our child or children to go to homes where the parents clearly are not attentive, that they're not keeping an eye on anything. Because again, kids can, a lot of places have pools and different things. So we do have certain at least baseline criteria. So, and so when we do know a friend has parents who are lax in terms of they're just not there, what do? We typically don't distance our child from the friend, but we invite the friend to our house instead. And even then, I mean, things can happen, but again, it's a matter of making sure they can grow and are open, exposed to certain things, but without trying to always find that fine line, which is really tough.
Yeah, well, I also think that we have certain obligation. Well, I don't know if obligation or not, but at least responsibility, I would say, to kind of help other kids being raised, like this thing of it takes a village. I mean, I do believe that when Callie goes to other kids' homes or whatever, they learn things. They saw different costumes.
And we let her go to homes where we don't agree with parents.
Yeah.
With some of the stuff that they do.
Yeah.
That's okay as long as they're attentive.
Safe. Yeah. Exactly.
So, I mean, that's really the only primary things I really care about. Other than that, I mean, if you try to be overly protective, but if it's a friend, so-called friend, where they're just always saying, I don't know, getting in trouble in not so great ways, then maybe, but that's why we don't say no. We tend to just sort of figure out a situation where she can see the friend, but maybe not maybe in a climate that's more conducive to them just having a healthy interaction.
Yeah, and also question her. Like say, what do you think about what happened? Do you think it's okay that she's treating your daughter, your little sister this way, or how would you feel if the roles were reversed or something like? So that we still question it in the context of, is this okay? Like, just don't let it pass.
All right.
Whatever.
So here's what I'm thinking about now.
Okay.
Did my parents ever tell me I couldn't hang out with anybody? Not even one time in all my life. Do I wish that they had? Oh man, they were. No offense to my parents, it was just in that age. You just didn't think too much about it. We could go off into the woods, do things that parents these days are afraid to let their kids even leave the home. They stay inside with their media centers so often and just. But yeah, there were times when. I remember once this one kid just took me his mom and went in the woods. They showed me how to shoot a gun. You know, I mean, it's amazing, but we just didn't ricochet off of something. I mean, when I think of all the ways, one time we found a hand grenade buried in a real one. It was an army, but there were times when I think, I mean, I survived it, but then you read these tragic things that happen to kids who are left unattended. I mean, not just little tiny ones, but older kids. So, I mean, I definitely had some bad influences. I definitely had things that probably didn't scar me for life, but did scar others who were within this group for many, many, many years to come. So I don't know. How do you raise your kid in a way that they can make better choices than I did when left to my own devices about friends? How do you do that? Can you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and part of it is it's just like the most important thing for me is to talk about these things and to have certain relationship with them that they feel comfortable then coming and talking to me about it.
Because there's been times, I think, when our oldest has said, I really don't want to be friends with this person. Is that right or not?
Many times.
And then sometimes she goes, yeah, I'm ready to be friends again, or to try. So, did your parents ever say no, you could be friends? Really?
Oh, yeah.
Both or one?
Well, one in particular. But.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like, can you give me a general example?
Oh, well, you know.
Like at all ages or at young ages?
No, even when I was little, I remember like them making comments on, oh, her mom, is a single mom and she's always out and you're always with the cleaning lady and who's looking after you, and, she's not being raised properly and this and that. So it's like
Because there's parents who weigh in on their children's friendships, relationships, even like, I don't think you should marry this person. Or, and not necessarily for reasons where they're looking out for the best interest of their child.
I totally agree.
They're very harsh
and
judgmental.
Well, no, yeah. And then my parents, I remember we had this family meeting when...
The family meeting?
When one of my brothers was dating this girl from a really poor, uneducated background. And it was like,
That was her fulcrum. Go ahead.
And it was like, why is it important to have somebody from a similar background? Why is it important to have a certain education and this and that?
Right.
And so it's like they have also weighed in because perhaps they thought, but that was like led by my dad and it was like a really cool thing. But it wasn't like you shouldn't, but this is why we think it's important. And I think that was a good approach.
But is it a good approach for your parents to always, just because they're insecure or have low self-esteem?
No, I agree because many times, people, just because they're racist or xenophobic or something like that, it's like, he's gay or whatever. Then.
But they say, or they feel threatened.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, and that's total insecurity. If you feel threatened because somebody is gay, it's because you feel insecure or you are very ignorant or something like that. That's my conclusion. But even racist.
Yeah. As many mistakes as I make as a parent, our children they don't know a thing about race.
No.
Skin color means nothing. It's a non-issue with our children, and nor does class. There's colorblind or color appreciative, and is classless. Not classless like my kids have no class, but like they don't make distinctions.
Exactly.
Our child has festivals, our oldest, in the plazas or parks all the time. Kids from the poorest backgrounds come. It wouldn't even occur to her not to treat them as wonderfully and as attentively as a kid from a well-to-do background. It just wouldn't. And it's transformative. Not just for the child in these, so many societies now are divided by class every bit as much, if not more than other things. And our children kind of break those barriers because they don't, so we keep an watchful eye on them. while we let them do their thing. But I think I'm a little leery of these catchphrases like "it takes a village," but I do think it takes more than one family. There's sort of this interlocking of families within maybe a variety of communities. What do you think?
Yes, totally agree. Because I also think about like the really great influences. Like I had told Callie, there's no more play dates because like she misbehaved or whatever, and then this really really lovely sweet girl, and then this really lovely sweet girl wanted to come home and like yes, because I knew she was gonna be like a really good influence on Callie and transformative in a different way, that like so.
All right, this has been a very long. Usually these are like 3 or 4 minutes, but this is new territory for us, and we don't get to go out that much. And as I said, I'm on the road again very soon. I already think of another question I want to do with my lovely.
Okay.
So until next time. This is the bearded one. And this is my wife says, love you and you too, really. I'm a lover. I want to create a more lovable, livable world. So signing off with love and an obligation to question not just my kids' friendships, but everything under and over the sun. I'm me and this is she. Say bye. Gotta wait. All the professionals wait. Bye-bye.